I know. But remember what I always tell you, man? Love is a virus that infects the soul! Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another random horror review. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yes, we have made it all the way to episode 50 here on my random horror review series. So if you've been watching, I hope you've been enjoying it. So anyways, guys, for episode 50 here, I've got one from Brain Damage Films / Midnight Releasing. Yeah, they've been doing big things, like I always say. They've been putting out lots of really good stuff over the last couple years. And so I was kind of hoping that they were going to continue the trend with this one right here. So let's find out. This film right here was released in 2015 and just came out on media in 2016, and it is called The Conduit. The Conduit. Yeah, that cover art right there. Yeah, but getting into the premise of this one, basically follows your main character, Eddie. Now, Eddie is a very damaged individual. He is recently dealing with a divorce from his wife, which he feels that he was completely the cause of it. You know, and he also has a very tragic past. His father and sister were killed by his mother, so he's been dealing with that his entire life. So after his divorce, he moves back to his home, his little small town that he grew up in. And, you know, he's just really a wreck. And one night he, you know, kind of overdoes it with the drinking, tries to kill himself. His buddy shows up and, you know, he says to him, like, man, you got to get some help. So he suggested he goes to, like, maybe some group therapy. That'll help out. So he does. He goes to group therapy and ultimately meets this girl named Amy. Now, they start a bond. And then, you know, she tries to help him out with his problems and vice versa. He tries to help her out with her, with her problems. And so they kind of start this bond. They don't really start dating, but they start to, you know, start to sleep together and things like that. And right after, you know, they start getting intimate, you know, he starts to have these really crazy visions. Strange things in the neighborhood start happening. And, you know, he's losing a lot of sleep over it. And so, you know, the cops come and knocking at the door. He's very confused. And, yeah, that's your story right there. Now, my thoughts on this one. You know, I really like the premise of this film. I have to say that, you know, what Amy is, she's a conduit. She's basically a gateway. She's like a, she's kind of like a pipeline, for evil, basically is what it is. She channels evil through attraction. So she's ultimately kind of like this devil that, you know, walks on the earth, and, you know, that's how she sucks people in, is through attraction and stuff like that. And what she does, she searches for broken souls like Eddie. So he's like this perfect candidate. Now the problem with this film for me is ultimately the pacing in this one. This film runs about 102 minutes and it has really, really slow pacing. There's a lot of character development with Eddie and Amy and what their, you know, their attraction, what they're going through. There's also a subplot with another girl and things like that. The problem is with the development with the characters is that it's very long-winded. It's very slow. It's very ominous. There's not really a lot of sequences and perhaps horrific events that are leading up into the third act in this film. It's very slow paced, and the biggest problem with this movie is that it's ultimately majorly predictable. Really, really predictable. And it's unfortunate because I like the premise of it. I just wish they had developed her side of things just a little bit more in the film. I think it would have been a little more exciting if they had more, you know, sequences of horrific scenes and things like that. This one is more like a drama, a drama with supernatural elements. Just not a lot of, it's very light on horror, we'll just put it that way. But yeah, you know what? This one, just, it suffers from really bad pacing, being way too long, just not a lot of horrific sequences and things, and it's just very cliche. That's the biggest issue with this film. You know, going into the third act of this film, you know, I'm calling everything that's going to happen in this. And it's really unfortunate because they try to throw this twist, you know, at you at the end of the film, which ultimately you can really kind of figure out within like the first half of the film what's going on with this. So, very predictable, unfortunate, because I do like the setup to the film. And, you know, I'm a big fan of these type of slow burn films usually. I just feel this one was way overextending its welcome. So, You know, the acting in the film is really good, though. I think Eddie did a great job. Another problem I do have is Amy's performance. I think it's played by Monica Essinger. As the Conduit, she's just not that menacing. She's not believable to me. You know, I like the tone, the dark tone, the ominous soundtrack to the film. I think that all works very well. It's shot pretty well. Most of the acting in the film is pretty good, but I just find her performance to be very kind of underwhelming, and it doesn't fit. It's not frightening. You know, if you're gonna have a slow build-up, you're gonna have to kind of make it a little more, you know, a little more horrific. You know, she has to be more believable. Just not buying into her character one bit. So I did have a lot of problems. There's a lot of cliche things. Of course, there's even a part in the film where this dude comes up to Eddie in the streets and says, "Oh, you know, that girl that you're seeing though, she's bad news, she's bad news." So it even has that type of thing that's going on in the film too. You know, like the red herrings and things like that. I mean, yeah, it's got it all. It's unfortunate because I was really looking forward to this one. I thought it was just going to be kind of a banger, but unfortunately, I can't recommend this one. If I had to rate this film, I'm going to give it about a 4 out of 10. There's not really a whole lot more to say about it without giving the whole film away. Yeah, I mean, another thing I did like about this film is that it did play itself pretty straightforward. It almost took itself a little too serious. There is a couple really silly moments in the film with cops. There's this one particular scene where these cops come straight into the house and they're asking Eddie some questions, and Amy's laying on the bed and he's like, "Oh, is this your girlfriend? You know, you guys dating or whatever?" And she's like, "No, we're just fucking." And the way she says it, I literally just bursted out laughing watching that. So, but yeah, it's just not a lot of, I just wanted more excitement out of this one. So The Conduit, 4 out of 10. Can't recommend it, guys. Sorry. But that is going to do it for episode 50. I will check you guys out in episode 51. I do have a lot more films that are coming up very, very soon, so be on the lookout for those. And as usual, peace out, homies. She's like, "No, we're just fucking." "No, we're just fucking." I know. "No, we're just fucking." The soul!